Okay, we are talking all things IT business analyst today. Now, this is an amazing entry point into the IT world where you won't be coding, very strategic career. But as I'll get into, like a lot of analyst roles, there are kind of tendencies to stagnate in careers if you don't niche down or skill up. So let's get into it. First off, who am I? My name is Chris Schwank, aka the Tech Jobber. I host the Tech Jobber podcast. Also have 17 years in the tech recruitment space, and I am now a career coach as well. Now, recently I gave a seminar at the Academy in Miami. They're an IT certification shop, and I talked about all career paths when it comes to IT business analysts. So I thought I'd do a video on it and kind of do a deep dive on different paths and different ways to kind of level up with this amazing entry point of an IT business analyst into the tech world. Okay, so let's start with the million-dollar question, and that is, why do 70% of IT projects fail? Well, that's because the business people and the tech teams speak totally different languages. This is where the IT business analysts come in. Okay, so IT business analysts, they're basically the translators between these two wildly different groups of people. What is a business analyst? It's basically the bridge between the business stakeholders who know what they need and the developers who know what's technically possible. Sometimes what the business stakeholders think they want is not actually possible. That's where the BA comes in. They're going to kind of work with both sides to get the shared vision and make it happen. So let's talk about some key definitions. I mentioned stakeholders. Basically, anyone affected by the projects. That's managers, employees who use the system, customers, IT teams, kind of anyone like that, even the consumers as well. Then we have requirements gathering. It's the process of interviewing these stakeholders to understand their problems, then writing detailed specifications for the developers to try to make this happen from a tech perspective. So let's talk about a real world example. So think about like Starbucks mobile ordering. So a business problem would be the customers are just waiting too long for the mobile orders and the complaints are increasing. So the BA will look into it, they'll interview the baristas, kind of observe kind of peak hours, review the order timing data, kind of see what's going on. Maybe they discover that the customer's arriving too early before their orders are ready. Now the stores are getting crowded. There's a lot of annoyance and confusion. So the BA says to the tech teams, the app has to calculate accurate pickup time based on the current store volume. So they're going to send push notifications only when the order is ready for pickup and display estimated wait time before the customer places the order. Basically adding an I'm here button to alert the baristas the customer has arrived. Then show the customer's position in the queue. Your order is third in line, your order is fourth in line. So they know maybe don't arrive too early, the store gets too crowded, and everyone's pissed off. So let's talk about some daily activities that will drive these results. We talked about requirements, elicitation. That's interviewing the business users to understand their actual workflows and their pain points. And then the technical translation, this is their real value. They're converting, those vague business requests into specific testable requirements that developers can actually go and build. Then we have documentation creation. It's like writing user stories, acceptance criteria, and functional specifications. Then there is stakeholder alignment. It's ensuring the business and tech teams agree on what's being built before the development starts, because you don't want the development to start and they say that's not what I wanted at all. So these two groups have to be aligned. That's where the BA will really show their true value. Then you have solution validation. That's testing the final products to confirm they solve the actual business problems that they were trying to. So the bigger picture is the IT BAs prevent the costly miscommunication between the business side and the technology that derails these projects. They have to be good at translating those stakeholder needs and into technical terms that developers can understand and actually build what is needed. Okay, so let's talk about everyone's favorite topic. We have money. So salary ranges for IT BAs, entry level, it's going to be low. It's kind of 65 to 85, kind of a good entry point, but still a bit low. Then you're scaling up a bit, getting to 3 to 5 years. You're at 85 to 120K, usually getting a small bonus, maybe 10% on top of that. And then senior BAs, you're at kind of the 120 to 160, maybe even 175. At a big company, maybe big tech or finance could get up to 175, 180, maybe 200. Bonus structures, like I said, it's often 5-15% of the base. And I have seen very niche specialists get up to very high hourly rates. We're talking like 85 to 100 an hour. As we'll see, you kind of need to be a very specialized BA to do that. Okay, when we're talking industry tiers, yeah, FANG is going to be the highest pay rates as far as salary goes. You know, kind of like 140 to 200K plus bonus. Then kind of mid-tier tech, you're at the 100 to 140, maybe 150. Traditional corps, you know, insurance companies, stuff like that, 80 to 120K. And then again, if you're talking about specialists, that's where you get into hourly rates. Like I said, those top out, I've seen as high as 120 an hour, which is, you know, actually really good money. But those people have to be specialists. So let's talk about the types of different BA roles. We have systems analysts. Those are people involved in ERP implementations. I've done some videos on those. Those people are going to make a lot of money because ERP is so specialized and all the richest, biggest companies use that. We also have process analysts. Those are like workflow optimizations. Those are efficiency improvements. Those are going to be kind of a bit lower paying. And then we have business intelligence analysts, which I'm going to do a video on those as well. But those are kind of building out specialized dashboards for the business to see basically what the data shows in kind of nice fancy ways so they can kind of make decisions based on that. And then we kind of have a subdivision as far as data analysts, going to do a video on that as well. That's business intelligence, that's metrics, that's KPI, that's basically showing what happened and potentially why it happened. Okay, now let's talk about getting started and who should consider these. So the reality is strong communication and analytical skills. You have to be very good at dealing with people. Obviously, considering the two temperaments of the people, you have the business at a company. Again, that could be, you know, up to the CEO, that could be customers, that could be basically anyone. You have to be able to deal with them and then just turn around like that and deal with the technical people. It's going to be totally different personalities. You have to be very adept at kind of switching on a dime. Yeah, common path that people take to get these junior BA roles. You could be in ops or customer service and apply internally. That's a good way. There's also, like I said, the academy that I'm working with in Miami. They give a certification program when it comes to business analysts. Also, people in the marketing and ops departments or finance departments oftentimes switch over if they do have maybe a little bit of technical knowledge, but, you know, kind of have an ability to speak to both parties. So essential skills, yeah, it's a lot of writing. There's documentation, user stories, use cases. There's also something called Visio. That's a process mapping tool that you'll be using a lot. And there's some basic Excel and maybe some SQL. I've seen a lot of BA roles that do require SQL, SQL coding language. The stakeholder management, though, like most of these jobs, is the most important thing. You have to keep those people happy because they keep you employed. Now we talk about who should consider. So we have people that are good mediators, good problem solvers, people that like to ask questions because you can't just say, okay, business, that's what you need. I'll go to the tech team. You have to ask a lot of questions, why they need it, how they want it. It has to be very detailed because when you take that over to the developers, they need a clear picture on exactly what is needed. You have to be an extrovert. You have to be comfortable facilitating meetings and workshops, and you have to be able to, obviously very detail oriented, and you have to be able to kind of think outside the box because a lot of times these stakeholders are not going to want to give you the time of the day and they're just going to give you a one-word answer. You have to be able to elicit those requirements at high levels from them. Yeah, who shouldn't consider this? Well, people that want to avoid conflict, because there's going to be a lot of conflict. Basically, the business hates the developers hate the business. They say they can't do it. They say, get it done. It's a lot of back and forth like that at times. So there is some conflict involved. And also, if you are in need of hands-on technical work, it's not really that technical. You do need some technical knowledge, but you're not going to be doing any coding here. So if that's for you, then you probably shouldn't consider these. And then obviously, if you dislike documentation and writing, it's a lot of that. Okay, so let's talk about some different career progressions. You start as a BA, either contractor or FTE. You go to a senior BA, maybe a lead. There are some companies that have BA managers, directors, and maybe you're a director of business systems. You eventually get to a VP of ops. Also, a lot of BAs switch over to product owners, which is a great start to get into the product manager realm. So once they become that, then they become lead product manager. So once they do that, maybe they become a lead product manager, then they eventually get to director of product management, and then VP. A couple of adjacent transitions could be to and from product management. You could switch over to a project management, or you could go to management consulting. Those guys make a ton of money. Long-term earning potentials, if you can get to one of those director levels. But yeah, long-term earning potentials, yeah, if you can get to one of those director roles that I mentioned, over 200K, the VPs are 200 to 300K, maybe plus bonus, plus equity, plus stock, stuff like that. So that's kind of one path you can do. You can also really become a high-level consultant. I've seen manufacturing BAs really make around, like I said, 100 to 120 an hour, and only working 40 hours a week, paid to their LLC, lots of write-offs. That's probably another video for us to talk about. But really, these are amazing careers if you're a people person, if you don't mind a little conflict, you have a little technical knowledge, and you do like that kind of leadership aspect, because so you're kind of taking the lead on that when it comes to the requirements. You're going to be running some meetings, and you can't be afraid to step on some toes. So if that sounds good for you, then maybe this is the right path for you. Check it out. I'm going to have the Academy's link. They have kind of an entry-level course on getting into business analysis. Definitely check that out. Working with those guys a lot now. And if you have any questions, and if you're currently a BA, I post all my open jobs on my LinkedIn. So I'll have that link as well, so you can check out any potential BA jobs that you are fit for, and then shoot me a DM and apply. So that's it, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.